Hey guys, welcome to group chat. We got a hot episode. We got a lot to talk about. It's me and Dee again. Anand's out, but Anand is starting to get really nervous about, I don't know, I guess being affiliated with us. You know, maybe it's not going over too well in his woke circles. I don't know, but he keeps writing us statements to say at the beginning of the pod while he's out. So he feels like he needs to make a statement. He needs to let everyone know where he stands because, you know, we have some mildly controversial topics to talk about today.
I actually don't think they're controversial at all. I think we played it down the fairway as a golf reference.
I agree too. But according to Anand, he doesn't want to be affiliated. So I don't know. We did our best.
That's usually how liberal elites are.
Yeah, real cancel-y, you know? I don't want to have an honest debate. I'd rather just not be affiliated.
Yes.
Which Anand did confirm, by the way, on the last episode that he was screaming at his phone while he was listening too. So hopefully we have that again. I think that's a sign of some great content. We got a lot of news. We got earnings coming in. We have
interest rates.
We have TikTok, news and how they're expanding their business. UFOs.
We have an amazing ending to the pod regarding UFOs.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, and then it is our middle of the week episode, which is now when we end with winners, losers, and content. So we have that for you too. Let's do it. You ready, D?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
The CIA's after me.
Are they?
Yeah, I got a weird call. I got a call from a random number yesterday, and I don't ever get calls from random numbers, and it just so happens to coincide with our CIA conversation is really blowing up on TikTok. And I'm starting to get a little nervous,
It's pretty wild. I was driving up Laurel yesterday, and I was like, I mean, I drive up Laurel like 3 times a week, and so it's kind of wild. It just when you replay what we were talking about, which sounds so insane that it's like there's a chance it might be true.
I wish there was a way to get you like just like a paragraph of the details, because the book, like I said, like I wouldn't even. Anyone who loves reading, you should definitely read the book. For you, this book would be a fucking nightmare. Like it is so sporadic and all over the place, and like I would say poorly written. It's called Crazy Scenes in the Canyon or Weird Scenes in the Canyon, one of the two.
Yeah.
But it's just so all over the fucking place. But like, yeah, the amount of info in there is really wild. But that video, that clip is blowing up on TikTok.
Well, I mean, it's clear that like America has a thirst for tinfoil.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but these UFO hearings, I mean, tinfoil it's like the panda dunks, can't get enough. Nike should just start selling panda tinfoil hats.
Yeah. I mean, if you just did a panda tinfoil shoe.
Yeah.
It might be the best selling shoe in the world.
Yeah. It's hotter than ever, man. I love it. There's so much going on. So anyway, in that vein, Anand is out again. He'll be back on Sunday, right?
Sunday, yes.
Okay, so he's out again. Again, he has a statement because, all week in between episodes, we're talking in the group chat with everyone from the show. And so, of course, we talk about things as they happen. And Anand's already, outraged about our
He doesn't even know what
questions.
We're going to say.
We just have a couple questions, that's all. But he wants to make another statement so that he feels he's represented properly in this episode. Go ahead.
The statement from Anand is, Anand Murthy does not share the views of his co-host on any statements or conspiracy theories on the vaccine.
How about this, Anand?
How about fuck off?
Every people are nice. You don't agree with that statement? Because he said he doesn't agree with us on any statements.
and any statements.
Or conspiracy theories about the vaccine, but just in general, no statements.
He doesn't agree with anything we say.
So what sparked that is Bronny James.
Yes.
Suffered cardiac arrest while practicing at USC at the Galen Center where they practice. Collapsed, was rushed to the hospital, is doing okay, it sounds like. It sounds like everything's all right. And, naturally, in the chat, I just had some questions. It just seems a little strange that how old is he? 21 years
18.
old?
He's like 18 years old.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to his freshman year of college.
So an 18-year-old with peak, not only physical warrior genetics, we see who his dad is, but the kid is a elite athlete in supreme shape. Cardiac arrest. I could see like heart, palpitations or, but cardiac arrest just feels really severe and abnormal. And of course, I'll go ahead and say it here for those, for Anand's crowd. I have questions about the vaccine. We know that one of the big side effects is myocarditis.
Yeah.
We've heard about heart issues coming from that. And I'll say, I'm not quick to jump on that, but 18-year-old super athlete, cardiac arrest, I'd like to see some data.
Yeah. So I think, one, I'm glad he's doing well and he's already released from the ICU, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The thing that I struggle with is if he has potentially other conditions, the thing that would be shocking to me is he's not like an 18-year-old kid in Idaho with, meager means. He's, an 18-year-old kid in Los Angeles with probably the best medical care an 18-year-old can get, right? His family has the means to give him the best medical attention, the best, whatever, pediatrician, whatever, general practitioner, doctor, whatever it is. And I think if he had some sort of heart condition that may have caused this, is it possible that they could have caught it sooner? I don't know. I don't know anything about, the heart from that perspective and so if you assume that he has pretty good medical attention, he does his annual checkups and whatnot, then, and I guess he also goes to USC. So one of the people in the studio audience today is Solomon Bird. He interned with us at Ghost this summer, and he is a football player at USC. And so he happened to stop by for the pod. And I was curious. First of all, welcome, Solomon.
Welcome, Solomon.
My question is when you start your season, do you get checked by a doctor?
Yeah, that's the first thing you do. It's the first thing you do when you get on campus.
Okay, as an athlete at USC.
Yeah.
And what do those checkups normally look like?
Like a physical. You go see Dr. B. He checks you out. And
they're checking your heart. They're checking everything.
Yeah, they're checking literally everything.
And
so for this to happen to Bronny is kind of crazy. And it's not just because it's Bronny. He's famous. His dad's LeBron James. But he's 18, 19, in his physical prime. It's insane.
Yeah. And so I think that's my thing is the problem is obviously, if we even mention the word vaccine, people like Anand are going to jump all over our back and say that we're conspiracy theorists. But the fact that you won't even, as a doctor, you have to go down the checklist and check the box at least to make sure that it's not that also, right?
Solomon, did you have to get vaxxed to play?
In California during this time, they're making kids get vaccinated. But I was in Wyoming, so I didn't have to. But we should probably see if Bronny actually got vaccinated as well.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We don't know for sure, but I would assume.
Yeah, he's a high school student. High school students 2 years ago had to get vaccinated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah.
But he went to a private school and they may have different rules. Yeah. I don't know. But if you went to LAUSD, I know kids were getting vaccinated. So
yeah, I guess you really have to look at it
Yeah, he may not
vaccine.
even be vaccinated. So it's then it's a dead issue and it's fine. And that's okay too. My more question is this, like, dude goes to USC, and I know as an athlete at USC, you get medical attention. They're looking for everything because it's a liability for them to clear you to play and have something like this happen. So like if I'm a doctor that cleared Bronny to play and didn't find a heart condition, it's kind of fucking nuts.
So what's the conspiracy theory on Bronny then?
No,
if he's not vaccinated,
then it's a mistake by a doctor that they didn't find a condition he may have had. That to me is also very likely.
That's more scary though.
Yeah, that's what, they're both very scary. First of all, having cardiac arrest is insanely scary. And you know how quickly you have to react when you do that. You have to get like CPR instantly. Otherwise, literally blood flow.
How lucky is he that he was on the USC campus where there's very talented medical staff?
Yeah.
Like you're at home alone playing video games.
Yeah, it's bad.
You might be done.
Yeah. So that's, I'm glad that he's okay. And, we saw obviously with DeMar Hamlin that like he's in practice.
He ended up going back.
Yeah, he's back.
Wow. Oh, boy. That's wild.
It just said that he's cleared to return. I don't know if he's showing up yet, but they said he's cleared to return to practice.
That's crazy.
Who knows if he'll ever actually make it to the field, but or if a team would even.
Here's my real point. Like I like to fire on and up in the group chat, and it's just gotten really fun. And if he was on this episode, I'd probably have a different tone. But the actual honest take is like, we just need answers. It's like they were so quick to have a death counter on CNN all day, every day during COVID. We were very clear on how many people had COVID, and we were very clear on how many people died. And we were very clear, probably too clear, meaning a little exaggerated, how deadly COVID was. At all times, you saw the percentage. Oh, it's a 2%. No, it's actually a 1%. No, if you're morbidly obese or you're above 80, it's this percent. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
But with the vaccine, you can't even ask. So if I know that myocarditis is a side effect, it has happened at least more than once. And then you do see an 18-year-old elite athlete, me as somebody who has that vaccine pumping through my veins, I want to know, what's that mean for me? And I think just asking that, like if I knew, hey, you know what, man? Yeah, it didn't quite go as expected. There's a 1%, myocarditis risk. You should probably go get checked out, because if you do have that lingering in there, high physical exertion could lead to some problems. Okay, I get it. I'm not even like.
And by the way, when we got vaccinated, we knew there was a risk associated with it that we were willing to take. And all we're saying is, as vaccinated adults, nice to know a little information.
Just a little.
What we're playing with here.
Because I don't know what's happening to I don't know what's happening to high school and college basketball players all across the country that aren't Bronny James. Like, has there been an uptick?
Yeah.
Probably no story on them.
Yeah.
What did he say? What did Solomon say?
He said probably no story on them.
Yeah.
There's no story on them. So give me those numbers. Give me average cardiac events in 2018 in high school and college athletes versus.
So there is an uptick that happened during, and this was in an LA Times article, between 2020 and 2022. There has been an uptick. It could be the fact that if you got COVID, you have a chance of cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
it's like, sure. It could be that too. The problem is, like, we live in such a politicized society. If we bring it up, everyone's like, you're a fucking quack job. You're a white winger. You're a white national supremacist. Do you think I want to talk to people who think like that? They're irrational human beings.
And you know what was the best marketing job ever by Big Pharma? Was pre-COVID, if somebody from a widely produced medication were seeing weird side effects, everyone, especially the left, would be like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, these people have paid some of the biggest fines in corporate history for side effects. And we were always like, fuck those guys. Like, I can't believe they would do that. But they really tricked everyone.
Yes.
This one to being that you can't even ask.
You're not allowed. If you ask, you're a white supremacist.
Yeah.
Straight up. If you ask a question, do you understand what I'm going to predict what's about to happen in the next decade? There will be the single biggest class action settlement ever on vaccines.
On this issue.
That's my prediction.
I agree.
But isn't it tied into like their contract or whatever that they can't be sued?
I mean, the U.S. government will settle it. It'll settle it. That's my prediction. I think when the dust settles, and I'm not saying that the vaccine was bad because there's fucking side effects. That's not what I'm saying. It's just to admit that like nothing can go wrong with something is just also equally as dumb.
I want to give my prediction. My prediction is there will be no settlement, and this will cause in 5-10 years a bigger divide and rift in the country than even Trump did. Wow. Okay, so complete collapse. I just think it's just like so poorly handled. And now, then you just allow, like if you were honest about the info, you allow for these moments to happen, which look, the Bronny thing could have had nothing to do with the vaccine. You might not even be vaccinated. But if you don't say, like people are going to ask. Yeah. So if you want to dead it and be like, oh, by the way, he was never vaccinated. This has nothing to do with that. Cool. Yeah, maybe he had COVID. Like Sharif O'Neal had a heart issue. Like a couple years ago. And okay, that was pre-COVID. Got it. Yeah. Heart issues do happen. Yeah. But tell us what it is. It just, even like I believe. Don't even allow for the speculation is the point, right? Like and I know just it's all happening in real time, but if over the next month, if they release information, I think you could dead the conversation. Because the problem is a lot of these people, number one, were like either really ridiculed for a long time for not getting vaxxed, or the other crowd like has something injected into their body. So they're like emotional about it, which I understand. So it's like such a charged issue. It's pretty. But the fact that you can't ask, I mean, I think that's changing now, to be honest. I think with this Bronny thing, and even though I don't believe Damar Hamlin had anything to do with the vaccine, a lot of people claim that. And so my point is there's a couple of these high profile, like young heart issues happening. And like, I feel like it's going to become a little more, like, I think you'll be able to ask questions on a podcast without getting ripped into. Yeah. I mean, I think we should at least get an objective view of the odds and the chances and understanding of it. That's all we as like people should be allowed to ask. We're not questioning the effectiveness of the vaccine. Yeah. We're not questioning like the intention. Was it a good intention? Did it prevent elderly death? That can all be true, but like, it also has this other thing. I mean, every other medicine has a side effect. When I watch football, and all the big pharma companies they go, side effects cause diarrhea, dementia. All of it, loss cancer, of family, kill yourself. And I was like, you know what? Everything. It helps my heartburn though. Fuck it, I'll take it. Well, I won't have allergies. You just got to tell us. That's what I'm saying. Like, somehow the one thing that was created in like a week has no side effects. Yeah. And imagine if 3 years ago they would, I mean, who knows now because everyone's crazy. Claritin D has more side effects according to people than the vaccine. Than a first-time mRNA Claritin vaccine. D is the most deadliest thing compared to the vaccine. Yep. Imagine if they pass a law and they said it today. You know what? Drug companies no longer have to say the side effects at the end of the commercial. People would be like, what the fuck? Yeah. But with this, that's what they're doing. Yeah. I mean, you have to look at it objectively. Like, it's the same thing. We were on this podcast telling everyone to get the vaccine because we wanted to move on with our lives. I know. And I think we made fun of people too. I feel bad about it. 100% we made fun of people. Yeah. At least I could be like intellectually honest that like, fuck, maybe I made a mistake. Yeah, I feel bad. But just let me know what I gotta go get scanned for. I made fun of a lot of my friends who wouldn't get it. Yeah. Like, you're ruining society. Yeah. It's true. Well, look, so we have questions. For the record, Anand doesn't agree with anything we just said.
Well, he doesn't agree with anything we say on the podcast, so it doesn't matter.
So we'll go ahead and let him represent himself if he chooses to on Sunday, but he's made it very clear he doesn't agree.
Yep.
Okay.
And hopefully Bronny gets back. I want to see him play.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And be healthy. And
hopefully he can play and it's not like a heart condition,
Man, that'd be so sad if he just never played again.
No.
It'd be like devastating.
Yeah.
As
after I saw this
as a LeBron
Aiden Ross
maxi
streaming deal, I wouldn't play if I was him.
Just go make money playing back.
You see Aiden Ross's streaming deal and you have a little heart, if you have any sort of heart condition that could be a risk, I'm hitting up Twitch tomorrow.
He can go stream right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Why even bother?
Yeah. Because it's like you're LeBron James kid and you're so fucking close. You're so close. You're like 16 games away from being the NBA.
LeBron's waiting on him to get to the league so he can retire.
It's like this is like an iconic ending to the LeBron James senior story.
This is what you should do. Do one season with dad, then go stream.
Okay.
And then you'd have the biggest exit into your streaming possible because you just hopefully won a championship with dad or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'd go sign a deal with Kick for $200 million, 2 years.
Yeah.
Love it. You want to talk about some news?
Yeah. I want to talk about Jerome Powell. He just raised interest rates again.
What's going on? Did he accidentally, where you accidentally press the gas when you're trying to hit the brake pedal, or?
So I actually listened to his whole speech, and he is still laser focused on 2% being the inflation rate that we have to get to. And he also said that it doesn't appear that that'll happen till 2025. So that means, and he said it, he said inflation is still here. There are clearly many forces in the economy that's allowing it to be resilient, like low unemployment, wage growth, things of that nature. So he believes that we actually aren't going to have a recession. He actually believes we're going to have a soft landing.
Yeah.
So if in his head and their data, they feel like that, there's no chance they're lowering interest rates anytime soon. So he definitely said it's off the table for this year. He basically said it's off the table for next year.
Did he signal that this was the end of the hikes, though? I mean, I saw the market didn't really get punished. He didn't say anything about that.
No, he's just said we're going to have to keep viewing economic data to make that decision. So that was kind of his takeaway. So, but look, the interest rates are still high. Obviously, you're starting to see home sales now really take a tumble, specifically this last month, and home prices started to cool down a little. The problem is the real economy. I know whenever we have one of these clips on TikTok, everyone's like, you don't know how regular people are struggling. But unfortunately, regular people are always struggling. So I don't know if it has anything to do with just this interest rate cycle. People struggle in good times and bad times. And so it's really hard for someone like Jerome Powell to look at it from the perspective of a group of people are struggling. And so in his mind and the data he sees, economy is still very strong. Unemployment is extremely low and things are firing on all cylinders. And you're slowly seeing prices come down, which gives him confidence that they're on the right path.
Yeah. Why do you think the market didn't dip?
So it dipped when he said there was no rate cuts realistic till 2025.
Yeah.
But then he said that I'm not going to wait till we get to 2% to potentially cut. We would maybe cut before that.
Yeah.
So I think he's just leaving it all wide open.
Yeah.
And to be fair, clearly the market doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
The Dow was up 12 days in a row.
Yeah.
And NASDAQ's up an absurd amount this year. The big tech stocks are completely on fire. So I don't know if it matters what he says. It's clear that funds have decided they're buying. And they're
I also think
continuing
people
to
are
buy.
maybe just like gaining confidence that there's no terrible recession coming, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is definitely happening, that like everyone now feels there's going to be a soft landing.
Yeah.
And that we're not going to have the pain that we thought we were going to have. I mean, if that happens, and I said it last week, Jerome Powell fucking won. If he soft lands us, and that's where we end up, that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. We might be wrong again. You know, we treated J Powell like an unvaccinated guy in 2020.
We literally treated him like an unvaccinated Orange County
just do it.
White male.
Just cut the rates. Yeah. Well, we'll see. You know, still a long way to go. I do still like a lot of people do. You know, there's still like some X factors. You know, with these different like commercial real estate bubbles and stuff like that, they seem, you know, like they would be relatively contained, but who knows? Definitely not completely out of the woods, but I mean, it seems like obviously the market believes we're going to have a soft landing.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is like the top companies have seemed to have figured out their business in this new environment. Like earnings are coming out. I mean, Meta reports double-digit revenue growth for the first time since the fourth quarter of 2021. It beat on everything, on revenue and earnings. Stocks up 5% in after hours. Daily active users. I mean, like, how are daily active users for Facebook going up?
I don't get it. I mean, are they just signing up dead people under fake names? What's going on here? I feel like a voter conspiracy guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I think like obviously expenses are still very high. And it's funny is in the second quarter, Meta's Reality Lab brought in $276 million in sales with a loss of $3.7 billion. So
Jesus.
He's not giving up this shit. So
that's the metaverse shit?
Yeah. He said, Meta said that those losses will continue to increase meaningfully year over year due to our ongoing product development efforts in augmented reality, virtual reality, and investments to further scale our ecosystem. Stupid.
So can you remind me what happened that everyone gained more confidence in Facebook again? Was it really just laying people off and just a sign that they are leaning out and focused on the right things?
I think it's a couple of things. One is the layoffs, a verbal public
acknowledgement
statement saying that they messed up and they need to focus on their core business. Okay. I think that. And I think third, Zuckerberg getting a six pack and whooping ass.
Yeah. You're right.
That's how it would stack rank.
Yeah, I think
what are the
accurate.
changes they made? Yeah. Like, you know, if you're an investor at a fund, you're like, you know what? Zuckerberg's kind of a badass. Let's allocate $500 million to Meta. If he could beat up those two guys, he could beat up the competition.
You want me to tell you one other thing that just happened this week that you wouldn't have known about? That this guy might be taking a note from Zuck is Donald Trump.
Okay.
They posted on the UFC YouTube page an interview with Donald Trump. And so I'm thinking like, damn, like UFC is going to go, you know, he goes to all the fights and stuff, but like, damn, he's going to be talking about like Ukraine on the UFC fucking YouTube channel. Yeah. And no, it is an hour-long interview about like details of what's going on in fighting. Like, oh yeah, you know, Volkanovski after that last fight, you know, it was kind of hard for him on the ground. Hopefully, you know, he does well against blah, blah, blah. But like it was a detailed fight analysis interview with Donald Trump, who's very knowledgeable. And I think he's taking a note.
A lot of UFC. He's probably watched more UFC than read intelligence reports.
For sure. We've probably seen him watching more UFC than he's read intelligence reports.
There's no way he knows anything that's going on in the Ukraine.
No way, bro. He's throwing those things in boxes and stacking them up in a Mar-a-Lago bathroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was a good, you know, Zuck. Maybe he's following in Zuck's footsteps a little, but
Yeah, so I think Meta came out, Alphabet same, just absolutely crushing it on earnings, their cloud business, YouTube, search, all those metrics that Alphabet, like, here, let me pull up some of these numbers. They're just staggering. Companies, what Google, Microsoft, Apple, they do. The cloud revenue, their cloud business grew 28% year over year.
Jesus.
Their revenue was $74 billion for the quarter. They beat it by $2 billion. The cloud business is casual $8 billion business a quarter. These things are just money printing machines.
They are. It's just like the railroads of the internet.
Yeah.
And they were in when they were in. And
it is. I mean, like search is basically, it's like owning the ocean.
It's like you own like the yeah.
You own the ocean. You want to go you own the air, the ocean, and the railroads. That's search.
It's like owning the fucking phone book, the dictionary, and the encyclopedia, and everyone has to pay a fee to read it.
Exactly. It's unbelievable. I'm very impressed with what Meta has done in turning their business around.
Yeah.
But like, if I were to be future looking, like, can Instagram, which is basically what Facebook is now, can Instagram be disrupted 10 years from now? And I would say 100% yes.
I think 1,000,000% yes. I think we've seen like the starts of it with like, Be Real and these different little moments that have challenged it. I think people are ready finally after all this time. People are ready for it to be disrupted. There just hasn't been a good enough product yet.
Yeah, I think TikTok is the closest thing.
And they probably won't be able to buy them, right?
TikTok?
No, I mean, like if there was a competitor that grew and was worth $3 billion, would they get blocked from buying them?
100%. Any social network, they're not going to get approved on.
That just feels to me like there's a real opportunity and risk, depending on what side you look at it from.
Yeah, whereas like Google, in my opinion, search, the only thing that can change is that if OpenAI becomes ChatGPT becomes a better version of search at some point. Yeah. But we know Google has all the engineers and all the talent to just evolve with that. So I feel actually pretty good that Google is untouchable at search for the foreseeable future. Even if ChatGPT gets there, they have the firepower too. YouTube seems like it's impossible to replicate.
I do think so, but I do think
for long form digital content, there's no challenger.
This is all I want to say. I'm paying attention to these like streamers and stuff, and the things that are happening on like Rumble and Kick are interesting. They have successfully went from like obscure, super right-wing fucking Truth Social to like interesting. And, there was just a thing in the news where Theo Von interviewed Roseanne, and Roseanne made some jokes about Jewish people and the Holocaust, and YouTube took it off and banned Theo Von for a week. And it's not nothing. Like, I don't think somebody could take down YouTube, but I do think there's an interesting like culture war happening that could open the door for some competition is all.
Okay. That's fair. I can live with that.
But to your point, not truly threatening the dominance. So
yeah. And even there's an article we're talking about here on maps. People like you forget like the dominance that Google has had on maps. Apple Maps, I don't know, out of nowhere last year became decent again. Mm-hmm. Like it was actually like I actually will use Apple Maps once in a while now.
I haven't. It's literally deleted off my phone.
It was basically like a blind person designed Apple Maps.
It was like a joke. It was like, hey, let's see if we could tell him to drive
go that direction and you should get there in the next hour.
Take the LA River down to the 405.
But now Apple Maps is a much, much, much better product. And so if you think about just the Apple and Google have a duopoly on maps,
Yeah.
So now Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon are teaming up for maps because there needs to be some more competition in the map business because, I mean, Apple hasn't even turned on monetizing maps. Google lightly does it. But like when you start fucking turning on monetizing, like think about like how much advertising dollars are being left on the table on maps right now.
Yeah. What does Google do? Do they do ads in maps?
I think when you like if you just like search restaurants on maps, they do. I think there are sponsored ads at the top of the result. If I could be wrong, but I think I've seen ads there.
That makes sense.
But I think like these companies have such like what Microsoft Office represents is a monopoly in terms of corporate America.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty.
It seems like
pretty
a hard
pretty
thing
impressive.
to like. Even if you're Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon, it just seems like a tough. I don't know. I just feel like Google's so good, and Apple's already on everyone's phone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who knows? What do I know? But that feels like a tough. If you take into consideration that Maps is, you know, the pre-installed app on everyone's phone, and then Google is just the go-to. I mean, the word Google Maps is like it's almost like
it's like Kleenex.
Like Kleenex, yeah. But worth a shot. What
Man,
about
these
Snap?
companies,
why is Snap having so much trouble?
Snap, you know, its revenue forecasts are off.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they've figured out the business model at scale. Like they had a strong showing on earnings and revenue, but they're still losing money. I mean, they're not making any money. Think about it from just anecdotally. Do you know anyone who advertises on Snap?
Personally, no. I hear every now and then I hear this like these weird claims that the advertising is really good, but no, it's never been sort of proven.
Yeah, and I think it's a tough business. I think they clearly have traction with people. Like people use it. Yeah. Maybe they just need a better team to figure out how to monetize what they have. They are seeing still growth in users. So I don't think it's like dead in the water by any stretch of the imagination. I just think you got to like figure out how to monetize your users better. And maybe it's a better advertising product.
It sounded to me like it got really populated with like trash content. Like everyone was watching those little Snap like shows and stuff, but they became, because I think you could kind of make your own. And like it became a lot of like reposting or maybe like street fight videos or, you know, whatever, webcam girl, whatever. And I heard that the problem was people don't want to advertise. You know, it's hard to sell ads for that type of content. And so if they can make that content a little cleaner, but still as engaging.
Yeah, because I think the problem is that like Snap's never made money and Facebook prints money, and that's their exact comp to their business.
I just feel like
to me, it's an inferior advertising product.
Yeah.
Right? Because like you clearly have engagement. You have the eyeballs. You have the people. You just need to figure out how to monetize your people better.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like Evan Spiegel should have sold, then go raise a bunch of money and try to figure this. I mean, I just feel like he was so close to like such a quick.
Just get the fuck out.
Just get the fuck out. And then just, you could be doing this with, you know, you could raise a bunch of money because now you're a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's happy. I'm sure he's fine. He has plenty of money, but it's crazy to see kind of, you know, Instagram got absorbed up into the Facebook, you know, thing and Snap didn't. And they were both around a similar time. And here's the different stories.
Yeah, no, it's pretty pretty fascinating. I think the social media like landscape is quite wild right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's like Meta going and launching Threads, which like I said it was going to be a complete flop. It is.
Yeah.
Like, are you logging on to Threads?
I have not one time. I have no account. I've never went to threads.com. I've never seen a thread.
I was all in on it for 3 days.
Yeah.
And now I'm totally off it. I haven't not even logged on to it, check it in a week.
Like literally, if I was Facebook, I would start an app and like not say it was a part of Facebook. Like I would launch it like kind of, grassroots guerrilla style. I think like even the perception of Facebook and that stuff is too big. Like I think what people are primed and ready for is like a new story.
Net new. Yeah.
Like, these two women from California, they made this thing because they were always going out and they were never able to see the photos. And they like, you want like a new story to follow, not another Facebook property.
Yeah. And then you have Elon who's, I don't know, man. I was kind of down with this X thing. And then you find out he doesn't own the trademark for all. There's so many different types of trademarks for use cases.
Yeah.
And I think, payments is owned by Meta. Microsoft owns it for something else. It's like,
oh my God.
Yeah, you got to look it up, the who owns what trademark. But like then he changes it back because clearly he had not thought through what to do with this. He like said he would buy the X Twitter account, and then he ends up just taking it. And so,
but now it's back to X, and now Elon just posted like an X. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But I like it though. You know what I like about it? Even though I know like there's also a negative take. The thing I like about it is we know from like building businesses how this is what happens on the inside.
Yeah, it's real life. He's just letting it play out.
He's just letting it play out in like a $40 billion company. Like it's pretty entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah, like we all get to watch what we all do, which is make shitty mistakes all day. He's just doing it at the biggest stage.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Like to see him treat Twitter like it's a side hustle, sticker company is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Hey, look, I'm all in on the vision of X. You want to do payments? You want to do it all?
Yeah.
In technology, the only thing that wins is innovation. That's it.
Have you used WeChat?
I do. I'm actually currently kicked off of WeChat, so I can't get back on.
For what? For your anti-Chinese?
No, I can't. I went inactive. I think. Like when I stopped going in 2020, I just like didn't log on because I wasn't talking to anyone in China anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was inactive for so long, I go to reactivate and it makes me do some security protocol. And it says you have to reach out to a WeChat friend of yours. They have to be in your friend list in WeChat. I don't know these people.
Oh, they're all like manufacturers and stuff.
Yeah, like I don't have their phone numbers. It's just like they're just in my WeChat.
Yeah.
And so I can't get a hold of any friend to like verify that I'm a legit user.
Yeah.
So I can't get back on.
I've just never, because that's how WeChat is, right? You can send money and stuff like that.
I mean, I remember going to a restaurant in China a few years ago. Like I couldn't pay.
Yeah.
Because then I had to, because my WeChat wasn't, my payments
they only accepted WeChat.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, see, I've just never seen it.
Yeah. And so like, I think this is what I love about what Elon's doing is he's at least trying. And TikTok is another prime example. Like while Meta continues to have these like, Meta's dreams are very much still like, feels like in a box with the exception of the AR VR stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Reality Lab stuff. And, he thinks that's the future, so he's going to keep betting on it. But within the social network construct, Instagram is not very innovative, right? The innovation hasn't been there at the speed where TikTok is now testing music streaming. They just announced that.
Yeah.
TikTok is launching e-commerce and wants to compete with Shein and Temu. Like they're going after it. They're like, fuck it. This guy wants to go after AR, VR. We know this is the most valuable thing.
Yeah. We got to ban it now.
I mean,
if these guys end up becoming, to me, music streaming is like no brainer.
Yeah.
Because all music is like talked about. And, even like, I don't know if you saw, but there's a big controversy right now where Jason Aldean made a song that's being canceled. A country song. And like where everyone's finding out that song is canceled is TikTok. And I saw it on TikTok, and then I went right to Spotify and listened to it to see what the hell everyone's talking about. And so that makes total sense. And then shopping, I mean, you'd have to believe.
Oh my God, that song is number 15 on Spotify. I was reading an article about it, and they were saying that this song had no streams. No one was listening to it.
Yes.
The outrage made it a top song now. Fucking stupid. Don't give people attention.
I know.
Oh
it's
my
so dumb.
God.
I wonder who, like a Jason Aldean type scenario, or who has either talked about or done. Like, it is a totally valid marketing ploy today to try to get yourself canceled.
Yes. I mean, if I'm an artist, I would pay someone to go through all my songs and being like, who have I insulted that is a large group of people that's vocal on the internet?
Yeah. Or this is a perfect song. This is a perfect, just write this type of song. Because this type of song, he didn't say anything, exactly racist. He really
But it could be interpreted that way.
But it is so ripe for the wokies, like it is so like, here you go. Here's an easy fucking layup. And man, it worked perfectly.
I know a lot of people in the music business listen to this podcast. You should make slightly racist songs and get canceled.
Yeah, just
become a top 10 Spotify. You should just make a song insulting every group of people.
Yeah, but just like
one of them will hit. One marginalized group will completely destroy you, and you'll have a top 10 hit.
Yeah. Yeah, it
why like if you thought the song was offensive, like when I think something is offensive, like Fox News is offensive to me.
Yeah.
I don't fucking turn it on.
Yeah, and you don't like tweet about it all day. Like, wow, look at this video from Tucker Carlson that I can't stop watching. I fucking hate him. Like that's not your instinct.
No, I literally I won't give them notice.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to give them attention because I think it's garbage.
It's another like left. Like the right is just really good at like taking the ridiculous thing and using it to their advantage. Yeah. Whereas the left just fucking blows it up and makes it popular. Even that comedian that I went to a couple weeks ago, the reason I was hesitant to say is because he got canceled like 2 years ago for making Asian jokes, but it skyrocketed his career. Like he was really obscure and unknown. And then he got canceled for making fun of Asian people. And he was on CNN.
Oh my God.
He was on all these places. But now he's like this massive, he does like, right below arenas. And it's literally the inflection point was him getting canceled. I just, if I was in a marketing room at a label right now or a comedian or whatever, I would be like, okay, how do we get canceled just enough that like, it's ridiculous. Like we just kind of bait the left. But we're not actually saying anything racist.
Yeah.
It's just like you can bait them so easily and they blow up these things that they hate.
Yeah. I think it's like fascinating that this song is big now. It's so stupid.
It's a crazy psychology lesson, but
I know. And I guarantee you his tours selling more tickets. He's probably getting overwhelming support because now you have to double down if you're a supporter of him.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Plus, the song by nature is like, sort of a prideful song. So it's almost like them trying to cancel it is doing exactly what the song is about.
Yeah.
Like, we don't do that in a small town. How dare you? It's fucking perfect. But to tie it all the way back in, if I could have just one click and streamed that right on TikTok, the full audio version instead of once I heard about it, I mean, that seems like a no-brainer.
I'm actually shocked that it's taken them this long to even launch. I mean, basically the music business for the last, 3 years is just TikTok, right? Like,
yeah.
It's heavily influenced by TikTok. That's what I mean.
Because look, I think a lot of people talk about like the songs that people use to dance to and stuff on TikTok. That is huge. But any news, like I go on there and it's telling me about rappers. It's telling me like I'm learning like, oh, so-and-so said this in his song and that was a diss to Future and oh shit. Like,
and then you go listen to the song.
Yeah. Like I'm not learning that from TRL or World Star Hip Hop or like all of that's coming from TikTok.
Yeah, so streaming makes a ton of sense. Similar to TikTok has realized its influence on shopping. We know that is real.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it firsthand in a lot of our businesses and friends' businesses. So it only makes sense them to double down there. Whereas like Instagram basically abandoned shop.
Yeah.
Like they're not moving forward at the pace they were originally on that. So it's kind of, and to me, Instagram and shopping always felt like the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Like
too.
Why not figure that out? So I'm a little surprised that Instagram and Facebook haven't really figured, like, even I'm sure early Instagram was extremely influential on music. Like they're not thinking along those lines.
Yeah.
Or even like, why isn't payments integrated into Instagram the way it should be?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like how WeChat is. Like instead, like, let's go make headsets.
Yeah. Or let's go make Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, what do you know? Don't just copy an exact. I don't know. I agree.
There's no, and it's just from a product standpoint, there's no innovation on it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that Threads is doing that makes me think like, fuck, this is good.
That's
Except
what you
that
got to give Elon credit for. Is like, it is not, the Elon universe is nonstop insane innovation.
Yeah. I mean, just look at Tesla, look at SpaceX, looking Boring Company. Dude, imagine
Starlink.
like Starlink. Imagine just like, oh wait, you're gonna dig holes underground,
Yeah,
because traffic is bad,
yeah,
and like cars just zoom through the middle of the earth.
it's absurd. It's nonstop innovation.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Well, we'll see what happens. Bad news for, the strikes are going on. The writer's strike. Now there's a SAG strike, I believe, if I don't.
There's also a hotel strike. Did you see that? All the, like, off Sunset, all the big hotels, all the staffs are striking.
Oh, I did see that. You know what's really crazy is down the street from my house.
UPS almost had a strike. They actually averted that strike. That would have been catastrophic.
Down the street from my house, there's people all day banging on drums and yelling into megaphones. And I'm like, oh, there must be writers. It's not. It's the staff. It's like the wait staff of a restaurant down the street.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just strike season. But, these strikes are really big, from what I hear, like pretty it's a big deal. Like it's not just another little strike from the writers and the actors and all that stuff. But one of the big topics on their, list of grievances is the whole AI topic. I know that they've talked about obviously AI as it affects writers for content and stuff. And then I've even heard like stuff bubbling up about like actors and like, being able to own their likeness. Maybe you do the movie Avatar and they scan you and now you in Avatar is forever their property and they can do, sort of deep fakes or AI or whatever. Look, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a valid concern. Maybe it's a little blown out of proportion. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what's not a good sign is Netflix has just listed a $900,000 AI job that they're looking to fill. So
what's interesting thing about like the AI job is, what is the AI job? Like, are you an engineer or are you just really good at ChatGPT?
What is it? A prompt engineer? What's the job?
I actually haven't seen the actual job description.
They might just be like, yo, I know how to fuck
I need
with
someone that's a banger on ChatGPT.
Yeah, like I know I can make this thing talk to me like I'm 12. I can make it write reports. I can do anything. 900K. Yeah.
And so it's listed a position for a machine learning product manager that will compensate somewhere between $300,000 and $900,000 a year. So that's a product manager. So that's not even someone technical. Like there are product managers that are technical, but you don't have to be technical. If I were you, I'd go change your fucking LinkedIn right now. Say machine learning product manager.
Yeah.
Who's going to verify that?
Yeah.
Who can verify that? There's not that many people in the world that can verify your skills anyways. Fuck it.
Yeah, they don't know over at Netflix. You just come in with your fucking Allbirds on and just, pull up some shit on ChatGPT.
You just say, I love using LLMs to really figure out how to develop content that can disrupt blah.
Yeah.
You use like 14 big words.
Come on in.
You might be CEO.
Here's your key card and your $900 paycheck. $900,000 paycheck. Hell yeah.
Because it's not product manager, not necessarily technical. You can weasel that job pretty easily.
Yeah.
If you speak
can manage
the language,
the technical people.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
I can tell people what to do all day.
Yeah, it's not hard to manage a product. It doesn't even move. It's always on time. It's there.
What's interesting is like, I saw like the animators, they have their own contingency striking. Like the animators are striking.
Yeah.
Within the writers and Writers Guild. And I was like, animators, you guys are toast.
Yeah, that seems pretty toast. You guys better start literally pretending to be product managers.
Yeah, because like that we have seen done extremely well. Like creating like a character.
Yeah.
Is not fucking hard with AI.
That's got to be the first to go.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Pixar, I'm like, everybody pack your shit up and get the fuck out.
I mean, you can't tell me that in 10 years, a guy with a laptop won't be able to make a Pixar movie.
100. I bet you a guy in a laptop can make it right now.
Oh my God.
Animation feels like the easiest place to go.
Yep. Yeah, that's over.
That was a very costly. The production of animation was so high because of the people costs and time. It took forever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's just funny. What's funny to me, and not funny if you're a writer, and I do empathize with you guys, but it's funny to me that like I see on all their signs like no AI, no what, and I'm like, is that really that big of a deal? And then like Netflix posts a job posting, and I'm like, oh shit, they're really
they're really doubling down.
Yep.
Oh man.
All right. Last but not least, it's time to once again throw on our tinfoil dunks, and we got some pretty hot topics here. I mean, this is really starting to get out of tinfoil land, and we are now edging on to fully accepted, put on a regular hat land. There's this UFO, whistleblower thing going on, hearing with Congress, and it's pretty spicy. I mean, according to like, if you kind of, fill in the blanks here and stuff, there's aliens here. They've crashed. We've recovered bodies. People have been murdered in cover-ups. We're being lied to.
There's the whistleblower is David Grush. He is testifying in front of Congress, and he's saying some pretty.
I think it's
pretty spicy stuff. Yeah,
for the listener.
Yeah, he said, I have to be careful answering that question. I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities. He's talking about how many, he claims about almost 95% of UFO sightings go unreported, mainly out of fear of being blackballed. He's hinted that people have been murdered, regarding cover-ups and making sure information didn't get leaked. So he's saying some pretty crazy stuff that the U.S. has known about extraterrestrials since at least the 30s, and the feds have been covering it up since then. They said that non-human parts have been on aircrafts before that have been discovered. These are pretty, because like this goes back to very similarly, like growing up, if you believed in UFOs, you were a quack. Quack. Right?
Yep.
And what we were like,
I mean, that was the go-to. That was like the go-to sign of like,
I mean, think about it in movies. In Independence Day.
Yep.
The guys that believed in UFOs were like the quacks.
Yeah. Or Men in Black. Same thing.
Yeah. And fast forward, decades go by, guys testifying in front of Congress, and saying, you know what? It mean like, do you believe he's lying in front of Congress?
No, but the only thing that I have is no, I don't think he's lying in front of Congress. The only problem with him is that he didn't actually put eyes on anything. He talked to people who did.
Got it. Okay.
That's the only complaint I have is if he was saying to Congress, I saw an alien body, I would be like, whoa. But
let's go. We're going full tinfoil anyways.
Love it.
Let's assume there has been evidence of extraterrestrial life, right?
Yep.
Why is the U.S. government covering it up? Explain to me the rationale to cover it up. Why do we? Who fucking cares?
I think that there is there's just a normal practice in the government that is like, what actually happens, and then what do we choose to say happened? I think it happens in wars. I think even when those documents leaked about Ukraine, where it was like, oh, they're not accurately telling us, what's going on in Ukraine. I think that's just the culture of the government. And I think that
we just want to control the narrative. It's not
always control the narrative. And I think since if the answer is they fucking landed here and we have their little bodies and we don't know how their things fly and we don't know exactly where they came from, it feels too out of control to disclose. It's sort of like saying if a missile dropped in New York, we would immediately place where it came from, who's responsible, and what we're doing about it. And to just say we don't know, dude, that was crazy. Hope everyone's okay is they can't do that. I don't think.
Yeah. So it makes sense. I just, for the extent that if it was actually anything actually seen, I still struggle with, at this point, what are you covering up?
Yeah, I think look, who knows? That's my best guess. I just think there's we know that the narrative that we get on Iraq was they knew bullshit. Different. They told us something different. We knew that blah, 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 all this stuff. And I just think if it's real, and the press release has to say we have this thing, but we don't know where it came from. That feels too crazy. I'll be honest. I might want it covered up if that's the case.
So I think 50 years ago, that was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. I
get it. I don't think you can phase anyone with anything anymore.
But I'm trying to think about it honestly. I don't know. Okay,
so let's say I'm going to give you a hypothetical.
Yep.
Wake up tomorrow morning. We got 2 Martians landed in Runyon Canyon. Okay. Plane crashed. They're dead. Okay. The Martians are dead.
Yep.
Are you changing your day?
Where'd they come from?
Space.
That's all you know?
I don't know anything about it.
Are they hostile?
Crashed on Runyon, and it ruined the picture for everyone to hike for 2 weeks.
Did they want to do any harm to us? Do we know?
We don't know because the plane crashed.
Okay.
But it had weapons on the plane. There was weapons.
Okay. So here's my honest answer, I think, is if you give me the option of knowing just that or knowing nothing at all until I die, I think I would choose nothing at all until I die.
So that then the U.S. government is acting accordingly. Yeah. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
You're happy with your government.
Yeah. Unless these things are landing left and right, and it's
So if one landed, it's gonna throw your day off. That's
a paradigm shift. On Twitter. That's not a fucking bird fell from the sky.
I know, but that's in your mind because you're reading about paradigms and shit. Me. It's not changing anything.
Nothing.
I'm going to a concert tonight at the Roxy. Shout out to Sid Sriram. I'm going to go to his concert tonight. I'm going to go have a drink and go to fucking bed, and nothing will change. If it just crashed and they're dead, I don't think I'm freaking out.
But you don't
if they landed and was walking around, I'm freaking out.
You don't have an increased anxiety level of like, wow, there now is aliens that know how to get here and they could come here at any time and with whatever intention they want.
I have mad anxiety walking down Sunset trying to not get shanked.
Yeah. Same.
What am I worried about? A Martian?
Same, yeah.
Well, I'm walking my kids and I'm like freaking out. Do I have to cross the street now or not?
Yeah.
No Martian's ever done me wrong.
I think if you honest, I hate to say it because the answer should be like, I want to know what's going on. But I think if you give me the option to never hear about it and just always live in like, I don't know, there's no aliens have ever came here until the day I die, I think I would choose that sort of willful ignorance.
Yeah, I guess my point is that like, think about like during COVID, how crazy the world was, and everyone was just standing in front of their fucking phone dancing to fucking the baby.
Yeah.
You tell me a Martian's gonna fuck that flow up? I mean, how many times did you hear that song, Rockstar? Or was that the name of the song?
Yeah, or Savage.
I mean, Savage. Yeah. You think... Okay, a kid's going to do a couple TikToks about Martian. They'll come up with a hot dance. Yeah. Travis will drop a song called Martian. And that's it. Well, there'll be some merch. There'll be a couple new businesses. We keep it moving. I think we're pretty self-centered as human beings to give a shit about what's going on anywhere else.
Yeah.
How many people wake up and are worried about what's happening in another city? I don't know, fucking zero.
No, everybody. That's the problem. Everyone's like, oh, did you see what happened to that person in the blah, 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 and the blah, blah, blah.
Okay, that's just because you want to talk about something.
It's happening everywhere.
I don't think people are having anxiety about like the fires in Nebraska and the cornfields.
I'm trying to think of an example like that isn't like I don't know. I just feel like we see like a video of like some sort of violence or something on Instagram, and it's like as if that's happening everywhere. Like as if like, okay, now I'm a little bit more scared to leave my house because look at what just happened in Florida.
Okay, look, I'm not denying some of that. I think if most Americans feel the way you feel about the Martians, then the government is doing a good job.
I think you should be able to opt in. I think you should, do you want to know yes or no? And then they send you a pic. It's sort of like Be Real. It's like, do you want to know what's going on right now?
People are so lazy, you would get 10% of people even saying yes or no.
Yeah.
Imagine if you got a notification saying, hey, we need you to respond to this email if you want to see a picture of the Martian. First of all, the open rate's 20%. The response rate is 1 or 2%. We
open
don't
rate's
give 20%.
A shit. Click-throughs 0.5.
I'm telling you, no one gives a shit about anything.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I'm literally torn. I'm really torn by what I want to know or not. I just think
I don't actually care to know, but if it happened, I don't think it changes my perspective.
To me, it's just the confirmation and the sort of unknown of there are things that know how to get to us. We don't know how to get to them. They are way more advanced than us. And so it's sort of like they call the shots here.
Okay, but that's assuming that everyone in space is here to do harm to us.
No, I know. But let's just say even if that's a 50-50 chance, it's still up to them. If they want to do harm, they will do harm probably way better than we will. And if they don't...
well, we better send our best people to convince them not to.
Will Smith.
Who would you send? This is completely going off the plot. So we should wrap this up. But you have 3 best people on Earth to negotiate with Martians. Who are you sending? I'll give you my first one.
I'm sending Joe Rogan.
Okay. That's a good one.
Barack Obama, just because he's a great speaker.
Great speaker.
Very diplomatic. Also can be stern. He can represent us well, I think.
Yeah.
And also... Charli D'Amelio, because she really represents youth. She's a pretty girl, the hope of
the future
world. Yeah, that'll be my trio. Yeah. You got muscles, you got good speaking skills, and then you got optimistic future. And dance. She can dance. Everyone loves dancing. I'm sure the Martians love dancing.
I think Martians need to see dancing.
I agree. Well, who's your trio?
I mean, those are fucking good. I don't think I could top that. Those are 3 good.
I'd be proud to be represented by that trio.
I would throw Putin in there. Just throw some fear.
Some strong arming if you need it.
Yeah.
That's why I had
muscle.
Rogan. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. Like Putin hand-to-hand isn't very good.
He's not hand-to-hand, but Putin, I feel like he'll say some crazy shit if things get out of line.
Yeah, plus the accent is good and intimidating.
Yeah.
All right, well, at least we know our plan.
I was going to say Denzel. I feel like he'd know how to like play a character.
Good voice, yeah. He could replace Barack. Ooh, maybe The Rock.
Oh, fuck, yes.
I mean, that's
feel
a
like The Rock
no-brainer.
could be
I think The Rock, Obama, and Charlie D'Amelio would be my 3. Joe Rogan's kicked off on that one.
Yeah, I agree. The Rock also represents like physical.
Yeah, just
like,
peak
don't fuck
human
with
race. This is what
planet,
we got.
This got people like that.
Yeah, this is
That's
the best of
scary.
us. I want them to think that's all of us.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, damn, it's full of rocks and fucking pretty little dancing
So no
girls.
Kevin Hart, because that
would not be a good. No, they'd be like, oh, we're going to take you over in 2 seconds.
All right.
Okay. Let's wrap it up with winners, losers. Content. Who's your winner for the last week?
I've got my winner is really is Google. I'm blown away. People were clowning this company 6 months ago and saying they were behind when it comes to AI. Clearly, they have made the investments. They're doing their part and slowly rolling it out. And I think you'll start seeing it in a lot of. I mean, I'll be honest. You know where they have AI that I use every day? In Gmail. They've written all my responses to emails.
Yeah, they did one the other day that was like really meat. Like it started to feel like maybe they're getting it a little bit more.
I mean, I would say if you email me 50%, I'm picking one of the auto responses that Gmail prompts me.
Yeah.
Because you're so good. Sure, that sounds great.
Yep.
Boom, send.
The other day, it autofilled something that just felt a little like slangy or like a little like more probably things that I say.
Bet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it said bet. It said, is this approved? Is this budget approved? And then one of the answers was bet.
Bet.
But yeah, it's really good. That's what I'm most excited to see where that is in like 3 years. That thing's going to be writing full emails. You don't even have to respond.
I think, what Google will do on calendar, Gmail, and search with AI are going to change productivity.
Yeah.
Like, I literally think it's going to change productivity.
I mean, really, of all of my emails, there's pretty much 3 responses. Like approved, when do you schedule the call? Maybe there's 2.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's what I'm saying.
It's approved or denied. And then when should we schedule the fucking
How come
thing?
It's not on text?
I'm trying to move as
Apple
much as I
doing?
can over. I don't know.
I know. I'm saying, why isn't iMessage prompting me with auto responses? 90% of my responses on iMessage are LOL. LOL. LOL.
Yeah. Or ha.
I just need a button to just
you're a
LOL
ha guy.
everyone.
Yeah.
I'm a
You
big
do need
ha
the
and
LOL
LOL.
one. Yeah.
And LOL. Ha is actually funny. LOL is, I know you think it's funny.
Yeah. What's funny
So
is
I'm just
ha is
supporting
such
you.
a dick response when you actually think something's funny. It's ridiculous. And I can't believe you keep
Ha
doing
means
it.
I actually laugh. LOL is, I know you think it's funny, so I'm just laughing alongside your dumb fucking joke.
Yeah. What's funny is ha really reads
So if
like.
you text with me, go look at the LOLs and the ha's.
Yeah, that's all it is. You just need a ha button and a lol button.
Yeah.
I need all communication that I just want to get rid of email. Just text me, or if it's really that long, send it old school mail. I want you to print it. Put it in an envelope and send it to me because it's probably not worth it. Most of my emails are just yes, no, sure. When do we put it in our calendars?
Yeah. I love the auto prompts. They're so good.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good winner. My winner, I guess for winner, I'll go with boxing. There's a really big, this is going to bore you to death. I'll go quick. There's a really big boxing match this weekend. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. It is a super fight like the old days. It is 2 of the best the best in the world at their weight class, actually fighting each other. Boxing is really lame in the sense that the best people don't ever fight each other. They always just try to look good by fighting a bunch of people that aren't as good as them, and nobody wants to take a loss. It's a huge weekend for boxing. Boxing is the winner. Good work, boxing.
Wow. All right. I like that.
There you go. Who's your loser?
My loser is Elon on the X rebrand. I know we talked about that. It was cool that he's doing it in real time. It's just fair. Sloppy. It's like, totally fair. It's, you know, I don't care, rebrand, but like rebrand and take it away and come back. It's just, I didn't like it.
Yep. That's a good one. My loser, I'm actually going to go with Twitter as a whole as well, or maybe more specifically people who like get lost in Twitter, because one thing we didn't talk about is Mitch McConnell just froze.
Yeah.
In the middle. Seems like aliens to me personally, but
so I mean, he definitely looks like he had a stroke.
Yeah. So in the middle of an address, he completely froze. Looks very strokish. Look, I do want to say, of course, I'm going to, I have questions about Bronny James. I don't have as many questions about Mitch McConnell. He's an old guy, but like if you go on the, trending topics of Twitter, it's just insane. And it's just insane. Like stroke, aliens, he's 81, retire, rest in peace. Like it's just, that in all of these hashtags are people just losing their minds arguing with each other.
Yeah.
About whether an 81-year-old should have a stroke or about whether, whatever. So that's my loser. Don't get caught in there,
Yeah.
Stay away from the X.
Wild.
Any content recommendations?
Yeah, so my content recommendation is Travis Scott has a new album.
Oh, that's this weekend? That's Friday?
Coming out tonight or Thursday night.
Yeah.
I will tell you the first song on the album, which is with Bad Bunny and The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Is a complete brick.
I agree, but it's doing well, I think, because...
No, it's not. It's fallen off Spotify already.
Oh, okay.
Like let me see what's this.
I saw it at the top last week, but that's when it came.
Yeah, it's number 6 now.
Okay, it's tough, man.
Gunna is number 1.
I mean, yeah, Gunna.
And last night, Morgan Wallen is still up there.
I think it's tough when you've been out. I mean, Travis has been away for a while,
but it's objectively not a good song.
I know, but what if he just kind of lost his
vibe?
You just some people, you have this vibe, like you're tuned in to what's going on and you're releasing the next song and you're.
That's why I love Drake. He just never stops.
He never does.
And then I feel like he knows the moment you stop, you're gone. You're toast.
Yeah, you take some time away, and then Travis also was not really, for a minute there. He was not too much in the public eye. Like he wasn't going to as many events and stuff like that. And I just feel look, I hope it's great. I love Travis. I hope it's great, but that song to me felt kind of like he kind of turned into one of the older dudes.
Yeah, let me go get the 2 other biggest stars in the world and shove us all in on a song.
Yeah. You know who else doesn't do that is Future.
What?
Future just puts out records. I mean, he has a new song with Quavo that it's already it's viral. People are quoting it. But, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. He's just so good at that.
Yeah, he doesn't stop. I think that never stopping is a big key.
You stop when you're 40,
Yeah.
You can stop one day.
Of course.
Okay. Content for me. Oh, more fighting. UFC 291 this weekend. Big
Who are
fight.
you, Donald Trump with the fighting? Jesus Christ.
I'm Zuck. UFC 291 Saturday. Gonna be great. Check it out. And also, let me look. Oh yeah, weird scenes in the canyon. So that's my conspiracy book. If you want to go tinfoil hat with your boy, full disclosure, it is a very messy written book. Like I said, it just jumps all over. I mean, it's just chaos, but pretty wild. If you want to get on the same page, throw on a tinfoil hat and see what the CIA has been up to over in Laurel Canyon, and see where all your favorite bands came from. There you go.
Anthony said he's been there. To the spot.
Base?
Yeah. For
Why?
A party.
Oh.
Party. Cocktail party.
What did he say? Did you see anything fishy?
No, he said it's pretty underwhelming.
Did he have any he didn't? How did he react to the CIA owning the?
He didn't react to that part. Yeah. He more reacted that it's. He's like, that place is stupid.
Yeah. I just like the story of it all. You know, I like the mystery. I like to think that, there's some great mystery. Who knows? We got some shout outs.
We have a few shout outs. So here we go. The first one is from Lars Thunderfoot to his dad, Antonio Mastriani. Shout out to my dad. He passed away today at 84 years old. He immigrated to the U.S. from Italy at age 20 and worked as a high school teacher for 27 years, put 3 kids through college, owned 5 homes, and retired at the age of 60 to Florida. Ultimate American dream, education, and hard work. Reminds me a lot of D and Anand's dad. I love you guys and info and the things I learned from the pod. So R.I.P. Dad. Sounds like he lived an extremely full and happy life, and we're sorry for your loss.
And talk about the true, I mean, I would say the truest form of the American dream. Not like, I went and made Facebook, but like I came here as an immigrant. I started I worked my ass off. I had a family and I retired to Florida.
And was able to support all your kids and I'm sure all their ambitions. It's pretty fascinating. Like,
I just don't think you really did the American dream unless you retired to Florida. I think that's like the true.
And by the way, retired at the age of 60. Mm-hmm. So had 24 years of retirement.
Yeah, I got to retire to Florida one day.
That is amazing.
And this guy's name is Lars Thunderfoot, by the way. So if that's a real name, holy shit. I mean, you should start a band.
Yeah, it's a good name.
It's incredible. Okay, shout out to your dad.
The next one is from Moana to Otto. Hi there, my fiance Otto and I are huge fans of the pod. Otto's birthday is July 27th. And so a big birthday shout out.
Happy birthday.
He is the most positive, ambitious, caring, and buff.
Woo!
But did say lol.
Oh, that's a D move.
That is so.
That means you think it's funny, but he doesn't.
You think you're buff. I don't know if your fiance thinks you're buff, Otto.
Okay. All right.
I can't wait to marry this man and see all the amazing things he'll accomplish this year.
Nice.
Awesome.
Happy
birthday. Sweet
shout out
note.
to Otto.
Next one is from Hector to the Wallas, which I actually know. Thank you all for being such good friends. Also wanted to burn them out because I recommended group chat and they didn't know about the podcast. I then sent Jasmine a link to one of the episodes a few weeks later, and apparently she's known y'all forever, but she didn't know about the podcast. Well, Jasmine, now you know. And then another shout out, Hector, to himself. He's been trying to learn ceramics to make his own floral vases for his floral design studio. That's the hardest thing he's ever done in his life. Now he's just going to import the vases from Shein because we love China.
China spelled CHAI-NAH.
China. And then last but not least, from Kate to Maggie from Canada, a longtime listener of the pod, and have shared it with now 50 people that now listen religiously. Wow.
Shout out to you, Kate. Super spreader.
I know. Kate the super spreader.
That's great.
Thank you very much, Kate. We appreciate your support, and shout out to Maggie.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. There you have it. Great episode. That'll sail you into the rest of the week. Everyone have a
Can't wait for more statements Sunday.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope Anand comes in ready on Sunday. We'll see. Everyone have a good weekend. See you Sunday.